Alright gang, this is my CC01 Bronco made by Tamiya. Some people call them Tamiya, I call it Tamiya. This is the first Tamiya I ever bought and built. I've had this for probably 8 to 10 years maybe. Can't exactly recall the year I bought it. I bought two, this and the Stadium Racer F-150 for my son. Reason why I got this Tamiya as a kid, had a couple of remote control vehicles. Now one of them was a Sears Super Van that I loved, had it for years, got it in the 70s, had it all up to the point I got married and found out that the closet in the spare room just didn't have enough room for my stuff in it, so a lot of my stuff was history. We ended up selling a lot of my stuff in the yard sale. That van was one of the things. The video I posted is a replacement van that I purchased that works. I had to have that van back. I wish I had mine originally, but I got that one as a replacement. You can check the video out if you like. But after that I got into bowling and had a good time with race cars. And then bowling goes out of business, and you know, my area there's not that much in supply of hobby stuff. You'd have to order out of catalogs with snail mail back then, or you went to town and like Sears at Christmas time or Radio Shack and bought their remote control vehicles, which, you know, had 1 or 2 channels, and if 5 people had one of the cars, all the same cars, and somebody's not going to be able to operate theirs at the same time because of the signal frequency. So years go by, I get divorced. Buddies of mine, they bought axials and trying to get me back into the hobby. So I decided to start looking into it, and I ran across a lot of videos on YouTube of this Bronco CC01 Tamiya. Now if you ask me now, would I have bought this first versus the axial, and I do have a couple of axials, I would probably say I would still have bought this one first. One reason is because it's more, to me, it looks more authentic, more scale to the original Bronco. Now, does it perform better than the axial? No. Can it keep up with the axials? To a point. I mean, the CC01 is very limited to what you can do with the suspension, unless you just butcher it, and you know, I just ain't going to do that. You have a couple different options when you assemble this on how you want it to perform, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. There's, you know, like I said, it's not that many options when you first buy it and assemble it. But this one, I've done a few upgrades to. It's got aluminum shocks on the front. Can't remember what they are. They took the aluminum ones back off the back and put the factories back on, because I don't know why they didn't fit right and they didn't work right. But the other upgrades are the rims and tires, and I'll explain why, and that was one of the first upgrades. Alright, that's the original tire that came with this. Very, very good looking tire. BF Goodrich solid letters, all-terrain tires, and that's the original factory rim that came in the set, or the kit. Alright, and there's your shot of the tread pattern. Again, very good looking. The problem with this tire is it was too hard. It just doesn't have the flexibility like this one. Now this one is not as, it is softer than this one, and it's not the softest you can buy either, but I'll explain why I chose this setup here in a moment. So when I decided to upgrade the rubber, I decided to go with these Ansman 1.9s. I watched a lot of the videos posted by Matt Mayo. He has a ton of CC01 videos and good looking trucks, and I saw this set of tires on his Bronco. He has a red Bronco with a white cap. So I read all the posts, and he told what brand tires they were, and I ordered a set. I also ordered a set of new replacement rims that look like the factory steel rims, as you see here. However, this set you see now, this is the second set of those rims. Those are aluminum. The first set were plastic and they didn't last. Alright, on the inside you see that inner hub where you slip it up over the nut on the drive shafts. Not this nut, but the nut behind the wheel. See how thick it is on the perimeter? Alright, you gotta forgive me, but this is about the best shot I can get where you can see how it's damaged. Oops. I'm gonna move the rim around. You see the perimeter, and it's missing two sections right here. Let's see if we can get that better view. There you go. Get my thumb out of the way. We were running trucks. My son was actually running this one the day the first rim broke. This is the second one that broke. They were both on the back. The first rim, he was climbing a little hill that we had flagged off for competition, and all of a sudden one wheel stopped spinning, but we heard a lot of clicking. Pick it up, and I thought the differential was busted, which it did eventually bust at a different occasion. Found out that the rim busted, so we just swapped the rim off with the factory rim and put the Ansman tire on it and kept going. Well, a couple weekends later, the second wheel busted, and that's this one. I like these so much that I bought the next set. They were aluminum, and I bought another set of Ansman tires. The original set of Ansman tires I had are on another body. These have been run, but not aggressively yet. So I have aluminum rims, Ansman tire upgrade. Now, when I put this together, you had an option for the front differential. You could either build it limited slip or live, or however you want to call it, full time. I left it limited slip at first because I thought it would be a fun challenge. Oh, it was horrible. It didn't pull anything, especially at the time I built this truck. I still had the original tires from the kit on it. So one, I didn't have pull power, gripping or anything, and two, with a limited slip, it just didn't do anything. It would just sit there and spin. Back tires, both those would spin, and then it would be shifting from front end, one tire to the other. So I took it back apart and locked the front end, and I've hadn't had a problem with it since. Now, I added a winch later. Really didn't have a desire for a winch, but then I saw, I forgot the guy's name now, but does a ton of off-road scale truck videos. RC Sparks, there it is. And they had a competition where they was using a winch as well. So I went ahead and bought this winch and attached it to the original bumper, and it's done pretty good. I got to order a new cable. The cable has broken twice on it, and I just haven't gotten around to order a cable. I did install the light kit that came with this, and I submerged the truck accidentally, and when it submerged, it basically just rolled over and water filled up the hood area while it was upside down, and that's where I had everything attached up under the hood, so it shorted it out. I bought a second one, and dadgummit if I didn't do the same thing. Rolled it over again and washed it out, ruined it. Now this truck is set up for LiPo batteries. I changed the ESC in it so I could run a LiPo, because the LiPo are the better batteries to run with. And the winch has its own battery. It doesn't run off the battery of the truck. It has its own battery. The back end, also the spur gear. The spur gear, I've had to replace it. I was going to put an aluminum one in there, but my hobby guy didn't have one in stock, so he sent me another one really cheap, another plastic one. I haven't gone back to order the aluminum one yet. I did put I'm going blank on this too. Servo. I did put an upgraded servo in it, trying to help improve the steering. The steering on the CC01 it needs to be greatly improved. That's the battery for the winch. And on the back end, busted a differential. Don't know how I did it. Well, I guess I do know how. running with these other trucks that, you know, they had higher ground clearance and all that, and bigger tires, like they had 2s and or bigger. I'm running these 1.9s and he's getting hung up, and I'm pretty sure that's how it busted. So I had to replace the chunk in it, and one of the, I think it was this axle. One of the axles I had to replace. I couldn't remember which one it was, but both of them's been replaced regardless. And the other thing, believe it or not, that's been replaced on this is the tub. I had to put a new tub on it. The 4-link, I think it was this side. It might have been the other side. Either way, it got caught on something, and it actually snatched the 4-link out of the bottom of the tub. And when it did that, it cracked the tub. So I tried to fix it the best I could, but it just kept getting worse. And one day we was out there running them, and my axle twists up, and I had to order a tub. So this truck is pretty beat up, but a ton of new parts, unfortunately, because of how I've treated it. But it's done really well for what I paid for it and how long I've had it. Right now, I will never get rid of this CC01. I take it when we do go run trucks together. I might not run it in competitions unless it's running against something set up the same, because, you know, once they competition, you know, the marked off trails, we set up our own rules and all that stuff just for fun. You know, bet a Coca-Cola, bet a $5 bill, whatever, or just plain bragging rights. But as I said, I don't take this one with me unless it's just for fun. I run my axials against other axials now. I have 2 of them, and 3 Tamiyas and 2 axials and a Lorax, which is a low seal, an axial, and a bunch of Tamiya leftover parts that my son put together. It's an addictive hobby. I try to stay low budget on it. I got friends who will spend more on their RC truck than their own car. It's bad when they call you to go running trucks, but you got to pick them up because their daily drivers broke down again, but their RC truck is top notch. That's a bad addiction. Oh, something else I forgot. I upgraded the motor in this. It came with, I believe, a 27, which is fine and all that, but I put a 50 in it. Really improved it a lot. One of my axials, I burned a 50 up in it a couple weeks ago, and now I've got one of them coming to me, so I'm gonna fix it back up. I actually sat back and realized I haven't done maintenance on any of my RC trucks, proper maintenance, in a very long time. So I'm gonna start with the other axial that burned up the motor and get it straightened back out and fix what's broke on it, and then I'm going to get to this, and I'm going to upgrade the radio, because if I didn't mention it, I'm running a Fatuba radio with crystals. When I bought this, I was so low budget I couldn't afford a nicer radio, so I just bought the bottom line Fatuba with crystal, and well, it is what it is. It does the job. That's it for this video. Oh, one more thing. I did add the spare tire to it. This one is a plastic rim, the other 4 aluminum, but that is an axial tire, and I mean, not an axial, an Ansman. And well, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys want to get into the hobby, look into this. If you want to get straight into competing or more aggressive, I would suggest going with the axial, but you can't beat the looks of this CC01. The durability is there. It's great. And, you know, don't make your choice based off of what people tell you. Do the homework. Look at the videos. See what kind of stuff you want to do with the truck. There's so much they offer now for these vehicles, different body types, different gearing, different motors, different size tires. I mean, it's what you can build whatever you want to build nowadays. It's just a fantastic hobby. It's fun to have your kids out doing it. My son and I, even though he's gotten a lot older now, seems not to have much free time to do this, but when we do have free time, we'll go and enjoy the day. We'll just find a ditch in the neighborhood and spend hours on the side of the road just running these trucks. That's it for this. Appreciate you viewing, and you guys have a great day.